Hey YouTube, Freedom for Cash here. Hey, how's everyone doing out there? I hope everyone's doing well. Today is September 8th, 2010. Hey, yesterday was the first day of school for most of the people in the Detroit metro area, and right off from the get-go, first day of school yesterday. Two teenagers were shot just outside of Mumford High School in Detroit this afternoon on the first day of school. Detroit Public School officials confirmed two Mumford students were shot at about 3:30 p.m. That's right, first day of school and already two students shot. I don't know what's going on in this city. This city is falling to pieces. It absolutely is. The Detroit public school system is in shambles. I know the mayor he's trying to pull everything back together, but with everything that's going on, everything that's just ended up being disastrous with the economy and unemployment and possible food shortages and things like that going on. Here we look forward to the first day of school, and we can't even have any peace and quiet on the first day of school. Two students shot, a 14-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy. Luckily, neither were killed. Now, here it is again. I just don't know what to say about this. How is it that we can have all of this violence in these cities like this? Does this happen in your big city? I mean, does this only happen in Detroit, or is this happening across the nation in every major city? Here's another article. Par for the course. First day of school in Detroit, two students shot, bus and teacher glitches. Bus and teacher glitches. Now what they mean about that is that Detroit has terrible transportation for the students. They have terrible school buses. And at this one particular school, Spain Elementary School, the students had to wait 35 minutes extra because their bus was 35 minutes late from picking them up. So let's see, 35 minutes late. Let's think about that for a minute and say they were probably standing outside for about 15 minutes prior to the bus time was supposed to get there. So they were probably outside for about 50 minutes in the violent city of Detroit waiting for the school bus that showed up 35 minutes late. That's not good. Oh, wait, and something else here in this article. That's right. Some teachers forgot that yesterday was the first day of school. That's right. And not all of the teachers showed up for all of the students in the Detroit public school system. Some teachers just didn't show up. I don't know if they thought Wednesday was the first day of class or whatever it was, but teachers didn't show up for the students, and that was a big mess as well. Detroit is just right now just not doing really, really well. And in fact, I have some articles here. There have been 85 house fires in Detroit in recent days. 85 house fires. Now, there were a lot of fires yesterday in relation to the first day of school, which I don't know if there's any correlation there, but I'm going to have several links underneath about the school systems and about these house fires in Detroit. Now, I watched one of the videos, and there were so many house fires at the same time that at one particular house fire, the owner or a neighbor, I'm not sure which, but the guy they interviewed said that only one fire truck showed up with 4 firefighters, and that's all that they had to fight the fire, because all the other units are displaced around the city battling the multi-unit fires. Now, some of these are in bad areas, some of the houses are vacant, some of the houses are being lived in, but it just seems very, very odd that all of these houses are burning. It's been very, very windy in Detroit the last 5 or 6 days. I mean, I'm talking like 25 to 40 miles an hour winds. Now, that does seem excessively high. It has been a very, very hot summer. It hasn't been all that dry, but it is a little dry right now. But, all the links will be underneath. I want to talk about my upcoming annual fishing trip. My annual fishing trip is coming up, and I will be going up north near the Frankfurt area, and that will be in about 10 days when I leave for vacation. As you see in my header video, you see the 5 salmon on the ground with the lantern. I usually fish my salmon at night, and I do a technique of fly fishing for my salmon. So I will be going up north in about 10 days, and I will be there for about 8 days. So I just want to give you guys the heads up that I will be logged off for a few days here. But if anybody in Michigan is interested in at least the idea, or maybe you want to go, contact me, and we'll see if we can set up some arrangements. Again, I can't guarantee, you know, if I have a spot for you available. But hey, if you want to go, I know I've asked a few people to go, and they're kind of on the fence about whether they're going to go or not. But you know, it's a great time for me because I go up and I practice survival. Again, I go up and I camp on state land. I don't camp in a campsite or anything like that. I camp on state land. I purify my own water. I don't use any electricity. I pretty much bring my own food. I try not to go to the grocery store unless it's an emergency. I try not going to any restaurant for a meal because I like practicing my survival, and that's pretty much the reason as to why I do this. I go up there and it's just so much solitude. It's 4 hours northwest of Detroit, so that's a rough time frame, about 4 hours. And you are like right in the middle of no man's land. I mean, when it gets dark up at night up there, I mean, it is like dark. You can't even see your hand in front of your face. It's that dark. But it's great because you're one with nature, and you're out there and you're practicing and you're teaching and you're learning. And here's one thing that I want to talk about. You know, a lot of people talk about survival, and a lot of people talk about bugging out. And I've been asked before, what is the difference between rustic camping and bugging out? Okay, and here's the difference. When you're rustic camping, no one's chasing after you. Okay, so my point is that when you're bugging out, obviously there's a situation going on, whether it be a flood, fire, natural disaster, it could be martial law, it could be whatever. Okay, but here's the thing. When you go up and you rustic camp, you get to use that time to practice, to sharpen your skills, to use the things that are in your bug out bag, to identify in a situation, what tool do I need for what situation. It's great, because if you think that you're going to be able to do it without practicing, you're wrong. If you think that when something happens, like I said, natural disaster, you know, flood, you know, tornado, hurricane, earthquake, whatever, martial law, if you think you're just going to go out there and do it on your own, knowing in the back of your mind that, oh, this is what's going on, it's not going to happen. You have got to practice this technique. Because I tell you, when I go up there, and sometimes I'm by myself for a few days, when I go up there and you are by yourself and there's no one to talk to, that is when it's very, very easy to become disoriented and kind of become lost in your own mind because you don't have anyone to talk to, and you constantly second guess yourself. Am I doing this right? Is this right? Is that right? You know, did I secure this over here or that? You know, so when you're up there by yourself and you're rustic camping, it's great practice. But imagine the stress you're going to have when you bug out when something does happen. So I really encourage you folks to go out there and do some rustic camping. But anyway, all the links will be below. You know, first day of school was yesterday here in Detroit, and already, the school district is in a mess. Buses were late. Teachers didn't show up. Houses are burning in the city. What's going on, Detroit? I don't know, but we got to put this thing together. It's just getting way out of control. You folks have a good day.